Hello there, boys and girls, lords, ladies and gentlemen. This is, of course, the fantastic, the absolutely amazing and divine Nick Dutch back on the camera again one more time for another delightful tarot show. I do apologise for not having got a tarot show done earlier on. I have been basically a bit lazy, okay? Well, not totally lazy. I've been doing a bit of writing. I've been speaking with this chap across the water who wants me to write a couple of books for him, so I've been trying to crack on with the first one. First one's done, dusted and completed and sent off. Second one I'm working on at the moment, so I've got to fit that in with all kinds of other wonderful fun things that I'm doing. And it's, you know, it's pretty hectic. But anyway, today is a tarot show. I'm doing this now. I'm going on a short 1-week holiday, which has been well deserved, I can tell you, because I've been occupied. I've had things basically going on, and I'll be getting back to doing the tarot show when I return. So if I'm going to be away for a while, there won't be any videos going out on any of my channels for a bit. So I apologise for that. I'm going to crack straight on. The inquiries are over there, sitting there waiting for me patiently in my email account. We're going to go through them one at a time and see what we can what kind of a show we can create for you today. Here goes. Okay, first and foremost, we have an inquiry from Lisa. Lisa is a lady who's suffering from ME and has got a family to bring up and is finding life rather difficult. The first thing I'll say to you, Lisa, is I also have a history of either the same complaint or one very similar to it, and the thing which helped me out big time was to dramatically change my diet and also to get a treatment called EPD, which stands for Enzyme Potentiated Desensitization. The issue that's there to remedy is an allergic complaint because your body develops allergies, apparently. This is just what I've heard. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to be a doctor for you. I'm telling you this so you can take this information to the doctor and see whether they think it's right for you. I also had a candida issue going on, and that was very draining. So there was the yeast issue. I went gluten-free, sugar-free, yeast-free, and dairy-free. Now, I don't know whether any of those are going to be an issue for you, but if you were to try and get that discipline, so basically just having vegetables, meat, potatoes and rice, okay, then you might hypothetically get better. I don't know, but these are things to bear in mind. So I had to keep off fruit because fruit contains yeast on the surface of the fruit. Even fruit that you can peel is still very high in sugar, like bananas, so I had to keep off that, and I have to go quite easy on carbohydrates anyway, including the rice and the potatoes, because they turn into sugars in the body, which then fed the yeast. The gluten issue, although I'm not a celiac, it does seem to help me in general if I am off, and I mean off completely, gluten too. That's just my case. It may be completely different for yourself, but I would discuss this with your doctor. And also, if you are in the UK, consider getting an appointment with the Royal London Homeopathic Hospital in London, who are the people who did the EPD treatments, and they're very sensitive to people who've got ME related complaints. That's the pep talk side of things over, and I strongly recommend you take my advice and at least discuss this with your GP and try and sort something out with the Royal London Homeopathic Hospital if you haven't done so already. But let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. I mean, you must be going through hell, because I was going through hell when I had everything a damn sight worse, if you get my drift. Okay, we got some interesting signs for you today. Let's go through the ones for the here and now first, because essentially those are the ones which which will resonate to you in the here and now, and then we'll move on to the second part of the reading, which has come through rather interestingly. So in the here and now, yes, there's a feeling of powerlessness, there's a sense of emotional negativity, and a feeling that you're alone with your responsibilities, which is quite clear cut. That's where you are at the moment. But what the reading is emerging to say is a lot better. Keeping up the fight, bit of a sense of a mercurial theme, because we've got sword and stave signs, and depending upon which system of divination you're using, okay, they can actually mean or refer back to some forms of healing once in a while. So getting balance somehow, anything that can help basically will help for you. Alright, so think about what I've said, think about what the reading says. You're going to be able to keep up the fight, and I think you're going to be able to find a way forward. Okay, we've got an inquiry from Karim, who's curious about their professional life. Let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Bear with me a second, please. So what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that are going to appear. You want to find out about the rest of the year, so that's what we're going to take a look at today. Okay, chronological spread, because that's the way we work things. And here we go. Alright, I just hold the cards up for... No, I'll show you the cards and you can make up your own mind. Here we go. Right, progression is rather interesting. It's a bit of a mixed bag, so you're moving yourself in the right direction, but you've got lots of variable factors getting in the way. Very strong earth signs earlier on, so making sure you keep that one star in sight as to where you want to go, what you want to achieve, how you want to get there, and make your planning in the short term. The sense of swift healing to your career life is there, yes, so it looks like that's actually not looking too bad, realistically speaking. The financial signs, the sense of trying to move yourself in the right direction is there. Now, you've got to try and maintain your emotional balance when you're going through it all, but essentially, according to the reading, you'll find a way somehow, even though it might actually be difficult in the short term, realistically speaking. The energy in the progression is earth energy orientated, so look after the pennies and try and do basically what's right bit by bit, because you can only reach your longer term goal on a daily basis, okay, one step at a time basically, okay, to try and get to where you want to go. You want to have like a happy career life, so you can get there, but if you screw up today, that'll hold you back for tomorrow. So you try your hardest not to screw up today so you can reach your longer term future. You're obviously a very driven individual. You're obviously someone who knows an awful lot. The mercurial signs there do speak of knowledge as well. Okay, earth and mercurial energy is a very knowledge orientated combination. Earth is knowledge, Mercury is about studying knowledge and gaining and applying knowledge, if you get my drift, okay? So you're already the right quality of person to be able to get the results. You just got to have faith in your ability as well as to carry on doing things to get to where you want to go. That's the main message, alright? And although you may experience moments of slow progress, which will occur on and off throughout the year, your longer term goals still appear to be there. Okay, that was quite an interesting one. Let's see what else is coming through. Okay, Haley's planning on getting a bit of education in the place where the person that she cares for is actually at. So let's have a quick look and see what the reading says about that from a relationship angle. Not from a educational angle, but a relationship angle, and see what kind of message we get this time round. Here we go. Okay, standard day card relationship reading. You're dealing with someone who gets preoccupied, but they've got a good emotional feelings for you. Cup signs can relate to a good positive feeling for you. That's good. You're feeling isolated at the moment, but that looks like it might be passing. When you come across this individual again, when you enter into this place of education, there may be a time when it will feel a bit difficult. But on the other hand, if you carry on playing the part of a good student, I get the feeling good things could occur. Now, the signs on your side of things are quite happy, quite loving, quite fun-loving as well. You want to try and do everything that's right for him, which is a good thing, obviously. But it's a question of territory, place, position, and social interaction that will basically be able to make it. We do have the wish signs coming through in your short to medium term future, which essentially means that you are on the right track. It's going to be a little bit of a wavy line for you because that's the way it is. He's got to adjust to you. I believe he'll accept the fact that there is a relationship there and there will be some real progression. So it does look okay, but it also looks like it's going to be bit by bit to... I don't want to sound too woolly about this, but you're going to have moments when it's going to feel like it's not working and it will seem painful. But those moments will pass because I believe he's going to start to show you a little more concern and consideration with the passage of time. So you're growing together rather than just meeting up, then everything is fireworks straight away. Okay? It's more like a long-term vision rather than a short-term success. George B is curious as to whether there is a new love interest coming into his life in the short or medium term future. Let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming through here. One step at a time, here we go. Right. Yeah, you're looking quite good from a love reading standpoint. There aren't any what you might call negative cards coming in. Obviously, there's no such thing as a negative card. It just speaks about different varieties of change within your life, within the life of anyone who is the inquirer. This reading is coming out with the most positive signs within the first half. Okay, so you start off with cup signs looking very good and positive, but that's you looking forward because it's a male significator. Okay, so, but on the other hand, it's then moving from aspiring to something actual and fiery and, you know, warm, and something passionate as well. So a connection may occur for you within 2 to 3 months. Well, 2 to 3 months is obviously the short-term future anyway. I think that's a lot sooner, okay, in a very real sense, okay, not a very real sense, in a woolly way, in a very, it feels like it's coming, it's impending, it's like, you know, when you get a thunderstorm and you got that like black cloud above your head and you think, oh, any moment now, okay? But this is like a thundercloud of something positive, if you get my drift. It's not going to team down with rain and be unpleasant and be all dark and scary and noisy. It's going to come down with something positive. But the feeling of it just being there around the corner is quite strong here. That's the way in which the water signs are connecting with me and communicating with me in this particular reading for you in the first half today. The theme carries on within the second half. This is about 1 year period we're talking about. So your short term is from there to the middle of this card, okay? So moving further forward, okay, sense of victory after about 9 months. So you'll have got someone, you'll have won them, you'll be moving to a committed stage, possibly sooner than 9 months. All time frames I give, and those of you who've taken a telephone call with me and a telephone tarot reading will know this about me. I tend to give pessimistic time frames, not precise time frames, because I personally have not been given God's own Microsoft Outlook. I don't have the calendar from the man upstairs. Alright, so that's the way I'm seeing it. Something good starting, you've got to nurture it. Another meaning for water related signs is nurturing, trying to build up on what you've got, okay? But it looks like it's happening for you. Okay, Lisa, you're rather concerned. I'll just give you a bit of an overview and see what the reading says about, your current situation at the moment, and of course moving further forward. Bear with me a second, please. Okay. Doing this chronologically, just to try and make it simpler. Okay, we got an interesting mixed bag here. I'll show you the cards. We'll take it bit by bit. Okay, now the difficult signs are about there and about there, but that's not the end of the story, because that's what I'm feeling there. Let's see what else we got there. Interesting. So this is you being portrayed as being someone who has been wronged and is trying to get everything back on track. Alright, the cards reverse, so the meaning is softened. Okay, the meaning is not reversed, but the meaning is softened. Obviously, it echoes back to the Seven of Swords we got there, which can be a bit of a dark card. But on the other hand, you're pulling yourself through out of a negative situation into a positive one. But those signs are coming through at the end, which means that you're on basically a bit of a journey. Alright, because you're on a bit of a journey, I can't promise a complete transformation here, right, at the beginning of the reading, but there aren't any signs of worry. Okay? There's signs of, slow progress. There's signs of thinking, oh my God, am I doing the next right thing here? But there's also signs of progress, which is slightly hidden and slightly obscured by the signs relating to a feeling of futility. But that's a feeling of futility, not actual futility. Right? But this one's the one you've got to worry about, because that deals with your inner nature. Not that you've got a bad inner nature, but, you sometimes, because of your worry and your anxiety, you stop yourself from doing the next right thing. So that slows down progress. Now, the very short-term future part of the reading is talking about power and passion. You forget what a strong creature you really are. And this is quite common with a lot of us, men, women, children, all of us. We're humans, we're crap, okay? We tend to self-deprecate. We make ourselves feel bad when basically things aren't necessarily quite as bad as we like to make them out to be within our own mind's eye. And this is part of what's going on. So it's not that you're not making things worse because, how should I rephrase that? Okay, it's not that you are making things worse. It's just that your feelings about the situations you're in is not helping. And you forget what you can achieve. And the reading is saying that you can achieve. That's why it's all fiery there, okay? That's why it's portraying you as a strong character at the end there. Alright, sometimes you don't notice all the good things about yourself. And you need to sort of wise up to that and try and separate it so that you know the difference between what you're feeling about what's real and what really is real. Okay? And start taking right action. And you'll get right results, I believe it. Okay, well, Pretty Thinker, I think, is the individual in question. You want to find out about Corey? Well, let's have a quick look and see what the reading says about the connection between yourself and Corey. I'm still using my traditional method. Bear with me a second, please. Standard 8-card relationship reading. 2 for you, 2 for your partner, 1 for the thing which defines the relationship, which I tend to term as the energy, okay, the energy of the situation, the energy of the relationship, and so on and so forth, or the forces between the two of you. And then we'll do 3 cards for short-term, mid-term, and long-term future. That's the 8-card relationship spread a la Nick Dutch, with a side salad of, or a side order of salad, or something like that, you know. Alright, here we go. Right, force between yourself and your partner. This is the one in the middle. So that's your fire, that's your power, that's your passion, but there's also a feeling of there being some kind of tension there, which is not necessarily expressed in the card, but is expressed in the way in which I'm feeling the relationship. It's looking good, but there's maybe a few things you're not quite communicating upon. Alright? On his side of things, he is a bit cautious. He knows in some ways that you can be a bit sensitive, so he's taking into account the sensitivities which he feels that you've got. Okay, but I feel there may be some misinterpretation going on there, because essentially in some ways he's tried to make progression happen in his own terms and he feels thwarted somehow. But it's still looking very good because the emotions I'm getting from him are positive, so essentially you've got a good foundation in place already. That's nice. It's now a question of trying to decode the past, you know, remove all the little strands which have been holding like the negativity aspects of the relationship in place. Get rid of all that crap, bit by bit by bit by bit. Tease out and bring about greater understanding for both of you. And then you can get your wonderful, wonderful progress. Your side of things, very simple, very straightforward, very basic, but also I need to try and get some kind of balance of power going on. There isn't a balance of power because of lots of little thoughts. Maybe there were lies told in the past. Maybe there's something else holding you back. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. Okay, now your progression, short-term, mid-term, long-term, these are the 3 cards I was talking about before. I like this. I like this a lot because we're talking solid communication and a feeling of some kind of pleasure from getting progression. It looks, I mean, in some relationships, the people in them aren't necessarily brave enough to tackle some of the hard issues which have been holding the relationship back. I think that you're moving into a space whereby you will be able to put the harder issues behind you and to start just getting a clearer mentality so you can love each other better and you can be happier together. Alright, that's the way it's going to happen. That's the way it feels like it's going to happen. Undoing the knots so you can be happy. Okay, Mr. Stephen P. Okay, here we go. You're a writer, you've moved to a location, you know, you were feeling negative, you're in a dark night of the soul situation, you want your writer's block to go. Essentially what you're looking for, in accordance with what you're saying there, is to be calm, happy, relaxed, and to allow the thoughts to flow. And to feel you're in the right place at the right time. Obviously where you are now, join a few clubs and societies, get yourself involved in the community somehow. That's important, because that will change the way in which you see yourself, okay? Let's have a quick look and see what the reading says bit by bit about the chronological progression. Already looking very good, very, very good. I like what I'm seeing here very much so. Right, you let yourself worry too much, and you let the disappointments of the past interfere with the present. That's your only negative. I get the feeling your dark night of the soul might come back temporarily in a milder form and will then dissipate. Progression I'm seeing here, I'll just quickly hold up the hand so you can see it. Okay, hold up the spread. Okay, thoughts, concentration, the stave signs I associate with writing anyway. They work very well. Sword signs can be, okay, you know, metal nibs and the rest of that, but essentially when you're talking about air signs, it's again a question of control. The 10 of staves there can in fact speak of a bit of a black cloud above your head. That cloud is being taken away, and essentially a feeling of even, gentle flowing thought is basically what's happening there. So essentially the change in the energy is starting to happen for you, bringing about a very literal sense of financial success and stability. So it's not just a question of social wealth, it's also financial wealth and nitty-gritty side of things. And when that starts picking up, you know, if you're male, it's often the case that when you're doing better for yourself, you feel better inside, because unfortunately us men do tend to identify a lot with the work that we do. Now you've chosen a certain artistic expression that can be hard, but on the other hand you seem to have already the intellectual ability to be able to deal with it. So, you know, the message of you being a fighter, heading for the goal, looks very positive, but also don't neglect the social side of things, which helps to keep you grounded, helps to keep you sane, and helps you to build up your life bit by bit, alright? Because that's also important. Make sure you maintain a good level of social stability, because everything else might be stimulated by it. Oops, there goes my phone. I think it's given me a notification of some type. Alright, so again, keep a feeling of mental balance, but essentially, generally speaking, you have made the right decision. I think you have. And so, realistically speaking, it's actually looking very good. Okay, our masters, let's have a quick look and see basically what the reading says about everything that's happening between yourself and your partner. Here we go. Again, 8-card relationship reading, having rather a lot of them today. Obviously, romance is in the air for a lot of people, and love is going on basically in people's minds at the moment. But let's have a quick look and see what's coming on through here. Bear with me a second, please. Okay, energy and the force between the two of you at the moment, stability and strength and power. Doing things to basically maintain stability, strength and power is essentially what's really necessary. You're dealing with someone who's willing to work hard at the relationship. That's what the Three of Coins is talking about, okay? But there's also a sense of sometimes the focus gets a bit adjusted and moves off track, basically. But the energy in the longer term future is based upon what you're doing and what you're achieving at the moment. Signs on this side of the reading, signs on your side of the reading suggest that you're finding this a bit of a struggle. It's like your partner is not quite reacting well or necessarily in a manner which you consider to be appropriate, thus creating an illusion of emotional distance, which I don't think is necessarily a representation of where things really are as far as your relationship is concerned. Again, we'll have a look at the 3 cards for short-term, mid-term and long-term. Here we go. Ooh. I think the short-term future one there is the one you've basically been looking for, isn't it? You know, the 2 of Cups, you know, 2 people in love together. That's what you're going to start to feel happier about in your short-term future. Not a problem, nothing to worry about there. And then progression is looking very good with the relationship getting much more in a balance. Okay, so let me just quickly point out, your 2 of Staves came out reversed, which can be good. If it was upright, sometimes that can be a question of like domination, control, the wrong kind of balance working out, but essentially the way things are working out now, not looking too negative. And I think this could actually pick up very nicely and you'll be very happy in the longer term future. Trust me, mark my words on that. Okay, Remy, you're after love life and career. Well, let's have a quick look and see basically what the reading is saying. Alright, so let's have a quick look. Chronological, the way that things should be done once in a while. Right, you need to get balance there. Yes, there is excellent developments in your relationship life. There is a feeling of this one particular person who's a bit like a comet. They come back into your life, they sort of move away, well, emotionally anyway, and then you sort of like come back and move away. That's coming through very much in your short-term future. Very variable between desire and essentially emotional negativity, with a sense of trying to get some kind of mutual agreement going on between the 2 of you, but finding it difficult. So you've got some struggles there, not problems, but struggles, and I think those struggles are going to start passing pretty soon anyway as you move further forward. Sometimes it feels like you'll allow that to sort of like get the better of you, get the better of some aspects of the way that you know your life is working out or panning out, but don't let it. Progression in the rest of your spread is actually looking quite optimistic, I would say. Now, here we go, second half of the spread. That's when things are going to start working out better for you. The tail end of the autumn and the winter is about making preparations for your longer term future on your career side of things. How you connect with people is going to affect how you're going to be hired, how you're going to be treated, and how you're going to basically be able to make your work future start working out a lot better. It feels much more entrepreneurial though. It really does feel entrepreneurial. It doesn't necessarily feel like sort of routine or boring, mundane, 9 to 5 kind of mentality, or at least not the mentality anyway. It feels like, you know, you're on top of things, you've got to think for yourself, you've got all kinds of stuff to deal with, you know. The reading is treating you like a business person rather than necessarily treating you as being an employee. So it's using those skills properly and basically making everyone else around you proud of yourself is what you should be thinking about right now. Okay, Kooky Mookie, is that right? Kooky Mookie, 78. Well, have a quick look and see what's going on here, whether he wants to be in a real relationship with you, and so on and so forth. Okay, now you mentioned travel as well. We've got signs of travel coming out, more or less the moment I mentioned it there. I think it's quite interesting. Sometimes little coincidences seem to happen, don't they? Especially when you're doing readings every day. Now, forces between the 2 of you, okay? I would say that's your communication and that's your travel, but also sometimes he puts up a blockage, okay? Princess of Swords is someone who's doing a parry, holding the sword like that to block another blow coming. This is what your partner's doing. So resistance to some forms of change, yes, but essentially the feeling of relationship progression is still there anyway, because this is only a temporary stage, and I feel he's going to overcome that. Alright, that's why the hangman is reversed. If the hangman was upright, slightly different message taking into account the value, so to speak, of the Princess of Swords there. But essentially the relationship energy is that any feeling of treachery or negativity is being taken away very slowly. So yes, he does want a relationship, but he's a slow progressor. It's almost like you'll be going travelling with him. It does feel like that. So essentially moving this to a real relationship is going to happen. Passionate connection, yes. Sense of affection there. On your side of things, yes, I would say that's actually looking very good as well, because you would like to be in control of the situation. I don't think you necessarily discuss what you need to with this person, or indeed arranging time so you can have that communication time together is something that you may need to take the advantage of, because you're the grown-up here. Alright, there's often, in various different aspects of different types of relationships, one person's a grown-up, one person's a child, okay? You're the grown-up, he's the resistant one. So you're the one who needs to basically open up and bring him towards you bit by bit. So it's a difficult dynamic, but it's actually looking not too bad, realistically speaking. So basically carry on doing the next right thing. Progression, short-term, mid-term and long-term future suggests that you're overcoming negativity within 3 months. As I said, he's a slow progressor. It may take a couple of months, not necessarily 3. I give pessimistic time frames, not precise time frames, for the whole connection situation to be sorted out, but he does want to provide some extra benefits to both of you with the passage of time, and there is a strong spiritual bond which you probably feel at this present point in time. You probably do, okay? So lots of interesting stuff there for you. Henrietta, here we go. So, you've given this guy space, you've decided to respect his needs for, that healing time, but now it's a question of, is it going to happen, basically, between the two of you? Let's have a quick look. Standard 8-card relationship reading. One step at a time. Here we go. Here we go. Okay? Make sure I've shuffled nice and thoroughly. We want to have a good random reading, so it's only whatever it is that makes the cards fall the way they fall, which will be making the cards fall the way they fall. I did that one badly, didn't I? We'll do one more to be slightly better, okay? That should hopefully undo it, and just a couple more cuts just to make sure it's the best I can do. Right, here we go. So essentially we're looking out for signs relating to progression and of course more responsibility. I'll quickly show you the cards so you can see where I'm coming from when I'm looking at this. Alright, cards stay on the table, I hold up the camera, show it to the cards, and basically you see what I see. Right, you notice I'm focusing on this card first and foremost. It is of course the Lovers, which is reversed. Now the Lovers itself is talking about a time of greater responsibility, often associated with a romantic connection. Okay, so it looks quite interesting, the fact that you've actually got some potential for the maturity aspect of the relationship to start moving further forward. Now, short-term future signs, I just have a good look at that. That's definitely another slow progress card. It's not really talking about interference, it's talking about a bit of laziness to a certain degree. Laziness on his side of things, because essentially he's been like drinking from his pity pot all the time, okay? He's a bit depressed, but like now at the moment, at this time in his life, he's going to start to have some victory over that, looking a bit brighter and more sunny. So essentially there is a sense of progression happening during your short-term future for you and him together. Okay, that potential is definitely there as you're moving towards a time of greater responsibility. Signs on your side of things, you know there's something good about this, okay? You know it, you can see it, you can feel it, but also you're afraid, you're worried. That's what, that's what the Five of Swords is talking about. But that's also reversed. It's almost like you don't want to believe there's some negativity there, so you don't allow that to occur. So you just take a breath, alright? Remember to breathe. And you start taking it bit by bit. His side of things, he's going to start to wake up. You're going to start to see signs of the greater responsibility. So yes, you can make it happen. Currently, you're very different people. That can pass. Short-term, mid-term, and long-term, ending up romantic after a period of him pulling his head out of his backside and then starting to communicate more about things which are of his spirit, which you may find difficult initially, but that can pass. However, this might take a long time. So essentially, if you feel a bit brassed off, you can look somewhere else. And there is someone else coming into your life anyway. I can feel that. Therefore, that's what's most important for you anyway, because either way, you'll be in a relationship. Now, with this one particular individual, he may change quicker, so essentially it might well be with him. Yes, you are very compatible. Alright, you can make it work, but it's still a question of, he's got to pull himself out of his backside first and foremost. Alright. Right, interesting combination of energies there. Right, we'll do another one. Let's have a quick look. This is freaky. Okay, two dreams, one about a sunny field of bunnies. Dream 2, a stream of dead bodies on a belt being massaged. One rises and points outwards, and then falls back, dead. Train crash. What do these mean? Well, the first one is your hope. The first one is the beauty of life and the things you're looking forward to. The second one is making the mistake of looking back at the past and assuming the past is indicative of the way things are going to go into the future. Alright, so I think you need to be careful to not listen to the past and to expect that the future will be different to the past. Alright, that's your dream interpretation from Nick Dutch today. Okay, Megan Mayers, let's have a quick look and see what's coming through for yourself about your relationship between yourself and your boyfriend. Here we go. Right, still using my traditional method, combination of tarot and anything else that comes through. Oh, I'm having fun today, aren't I? Right, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, yes. Signs on his side of things, really head over heels, okay? Signs on your side of things, expect him to be head over heels, and basically it looks like he is. Force between the two of you, loving pleasure. Oh, God almighty. I don't even need to tell you, do I? Just hold up those cards and it provides the answer straight out. It's looking very interesting for you, and I think you've actually got a great deal of, you know, real extra benefits coming from this individual with the passage of time moving further forward. Yes, it's looking very nice. Alright, keep the communication going, be the one to reach out, make sure, you know, he knows as a result of you doing the next right thing that things are moving further forward. It's looking good. Okay, Steve, I'm sorry you've been through so much trouble with the military, and you know you in accordance with your message. Okay, you seem to be starting to do better. You are looking after yourself. You're giving yourself the quiet time that you need. You're doing the healing. You're doing all your music, all your spirituality. Good. Carry on doing that, because that's really important when you're going through a time of healing anyway. All right. So make sure that you do carry on that path, because that's important for you right now. On the side of, staying clean and sober, carry on staying clean and sober, and with everything else, try and do that properly as well. Talk to the doctor, learn pain management skills, do whatever you can to try and keep yourself on top of things, but mental clarity is important, and of course do things to make sure you maintain your self-esteem. But on your, on your career side of things, let's have a quick look and see what's happening here. Bear with me a second, please. Right. Right, you want to see the cards? I'll show you the cards. There you go. Alright, so complex, but I think this explains where you are and where you're coming from. Okay, so it's not... One thing this reading's not doing is it's not just purely showing sunshine. There aren't like 6 sun cards in the tarot. Okay, it doesn't happen like that. You're aware of that now. But slow progress, yes. Overcoming defeat, yes. Being a firebrand in your own life, being the initiator of change, yes. I sense something practical about that. The element of gold, the metal element of gold is often connected with fire. Go for the business route. That looks like the best thing that you can be doing at the moment, okay? Now, because of everything negative that's happened in the past, you may feel like slow progression is the way forward. I don't think so. I think, number one, looking after yourself in the ways you're looking after yourself already is important, as well as developing more in the way of progression bit by bit with everything else. So, energy and vitality, yes, that's those signs are coming through there. But this is where it's warming up. It's not warming up in this part of the reading, it's warming up further on down the line. So you're going through planning and preparing, a lengthy period of planning and preparing for a longer term future of basically getting there. Value and success, and the reading portraying you as someone who can achieve big things for yourself and for other people. So yes, you've got a good future out there. I'm erring towards the business side of things. You're going to be okay. Okay, so those are the readings for today on the Great and Glorious Tarot Show. Remember, if you've got a reading request you want to submit to me, the email address is nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Yes! And, you can ask about nearly anything, but not about pregnancy, not about medical matters, not about childbirth. There's a couple of legal issues I struggle with, okay, because, it's a regulated service and so on and so forth, okay? There's, it's like that. But, just make your inquiries, send them through. If I can't do it or I don't do it, it's no skin off your nose, because it's free, for crying out loud's sake, okay? So relax, chill out, enjoy yourself. Remember, a tarot reading is an entertainment service, legally speaking. Alright? You are responsible for everything in your life. You're the producer and director and movie maker of your own existence. So don't place control into the hands of your spiritualists. Place it back in your hands. Alright? I'm just here to entertain you, make you smile, and give you another perspective to think about your situations. I bid you good fortune and God bless. My name is Nick Dutch, and I've had far too much tea today. Speak to you soon. God bless.